Hello and welcome to Control Room Brussels. My name is Marie Kato. Today we'll be talking about the future and sovereignty of Greenland. In recent days, US President Donald Trump has announced that Greenland is key to US security and that the US will acquire it, or at least ensure it is within the realm of US control. Now that the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland have met with their US counterpart Marco Rubio in Washington, hosted by US Vice President J.D. Vance, what comes next for Greenland, and what are the implications for NATO and global security as we know it? My guests today are Henrik Dahl, Danish MEP from the group of the European People's Party, Sovndal, former foreign minister for Denmark, currently an MEP for the group of the Greens and the European Free Alliance, and Per Clausen, representing the Left Group in the European Parliament. Thank you for joining me today on Control Room Brussels. So we begin with the first part of our conversation. Let's begin with some context for our viewers. Sovndal, as former Danish foreign minister, you have watched the evolution of US foreign policy for many years. We are witnessing an absolutely extraordinary situation where President Trump openly speaks about seizing Greenland for US national security reasons. In the past, this has been a conversation and a topic for columnists. And now we are entering a real diplomatic crisis. How do you interpret this for the perspective of international order that you have actually spent many years trying to build?
It's a total breach of the order we knew. I mean, to go and take part of an allied country's territory and say, we're going to take that, either the easy way or the hard way, as Trump said. That's playing up to what Russia does in Ukraine. They take, as a strong country, try to take the country with power. We see the same with China and Taiwan. And now we see the US doing precisely the same, not only with Greenland, they're also threatening Canada, they're threatening Panama. And if this is allowed, we do not anymore have a world of order, a world of negotiations, a world of agreement. Then we allow the stronger part to take what they want. And do they need it? No. They say it's for security reasons. We have an agreement with America from 1951 that they can post soldiers in Greenland. They just have to tell the Danish government and the Greenlandic government they're going to do it. When they're at the most, they had 10,000 soldiers posted in Greenland. Today, they have 140. So when Trump says we do not take care of security, I think he should look himself into the mirror. And we're very grateful from Danish side with all the European countries showing solidarity and sending officers, missions to Greenland. I think that makes it more difficult for Trump with power to grab Greenland.
Now, Henrik Dahl, I want you to tell us about the TUL Treaty, that 1951 Greenland Defense Agreement, which appears to play into Donald Trump's advantage. It suggests that he can increase military presence at will. Now, how do you understand that treaty? And can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Well, the treaty from 1951 is the basic treaty. It was amended in 2004. We don't have necessarily to go into that. But it stipulates that the United States can have any number of bases they would like to have in Greenland, and they can pretty much equip the bases the way they would like to. It's a little bit more complicated than what I'm saying now, but basically they just have to notify the Danish authorities, and under the 2004 amendment, they also have to notify the Greenland authorities. So it is hard to understand what the United States feel they are missing, because they can pretty much do what they would like to do.
And Per Clausen, how do you see this diplomatic crisis and the shift in geopolitics as we know it?
I think if you look at Trump, I think he's a bully in international politics. And I think, as Willy and Henrik said, there's no logical reason to what he is doing about Greenland. No, at all. So I think it's a bully, and I think we must treat him like a bully. And if you meet a bully, you must react and say you couldn't go, you must not go further. If you do something more, I will react on it. And I also think it's very good that European countries has sent troops to Greenland. I think it's a very good idea. But I also think we in European Union should discuss what could we do to make a pressure on on the United States, because European Union have now military power, but we have economical power, and we could do something against the United States they don't want to face.
Now we're going to take a look at what the Danish foreign minister has had to say. We've just had that Greenland summit in Washington and brought together the foreign ministers of Greenland, Denmark and the United States. This was hosted on Wednesday at the White House. Let's tune into the details emerging of that press conference. This is what Lars Løkke Rasmussen had to say.
For us, ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable. And we therefore still have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. And therefore we will, however, continue to talk. We have decided to form a high-level working group to explore if we can find a common way forward. The group, in our view, should focus on how to address the American security concerns, while at the same time respecting the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark. We expect that such a group will meet for a first time within a matter of weeks.
There was a lot of anticipation surrounding this summit, and I wanted to ask about the comments that emerged out of it. Were you a little bit disappointed after we heard the details that came out of it?
A little bit both. On one hand, disappointed that this is necessary. As we all three explain, they can do what they want in Greenland as far as posting military is concerned. They do not need to do that. So therefore, I think we all wonder, what is this? It's a simple power play where they want to show they are the big in the world, and Trump's ego needs to have some bigger land like other big presidents. I think that's the core of this discussion. But also a bit delighted both that he did not succeed, also the European solidarity, but also the resistance we see in the US among the congressmen, but also among the population. I saw a poll yesterday saying that only 4% of the population support to take Greenland by force. 77% are against. He does not have, as he said, he does not have the cards to play. He's in a very weak position. And I think Europe should use that to stand up for Greenland, but also for international law.
Per, we hear that there is going to be a working group. That is one of the conclusions that emerged from that summit. What is that working group going to do? And who's going to be in it?
I think it's very difficult to say what it will do, because it's a traditional diplomatic trick to make a working group, and the working group can work lots of years and nothing will happen. And it's seen in that perspective, it could be very clever to make that group. But I don't think Trump will wait on any groups. So Trump is still the problem here, I think. And Trump is saying precisely the same as he said lots of time now. He wants Greenland, and therefore we are in the same position now that we was precisely the same situation now and before this meeting, I think. But the meeting was not a catastrophic situation, and maybe we should be happy for that. But I think we are in the precisely the same situation now.
Well, Henrik, it wasn't a catastrophic result, but it wasn't a success. We hear that there are significant disagreements. There is a working group. How do we read the result of this summit? Is it a pause?
It's very difficult to say how we are to understand this, because the key thing is, as far as I am concerned, that this is the end of the political West. We are used to the political West as a force. It's been there ever since the Second World War. And the idea underlying the political West is that Europe and the United States are very close allies and we can always count on each other. Now that the political West is gone, we don't really know what rules apply. We don't know what to expect. So everybody is telling you in different words that we don't really know what to expect and we don't know what the outcome is. And that's because our entire frame of reference is gone and we will have to see what emerges.
Exactly. So we don't know what is coming next. What does that mean for NATO?
That means that we should do what we can to keep NATO going, but we also have, as responsible countries and politicians, to prepare the worst scenario, which is that US pulls out and does not participate anymore. And therefore we are now in this House discussing very much how do we develop European defense, how do we do it quickly, also to be able to defend Ukraine in case US is not on board anymore. So I think to make Europe sovereign in a lot of areas and independent, I think that's important.
But you know, really, sometimes when you don't ask a question, it's because you don't want to hear the answer. And the question I am not asking is, does Article 5 still apply? And the reason I'm not asking it is I don't really want to hear the answer, because the answer could very well be that Article 5 doesn't apply anymore. Yep. Because if you threaten to use military force against an ally, Article 5 is gone. And if Article 5 is gone, NATO is gone. So I'm not asking because I'm afraid to hear the answer.
But the answer will come even if you not ask, I think, in reality. And therefore I think the situation now is that the United States not only attacks Greenland, they also attack Europe. We've seen lots of examples where Trump are going to attack on Europe. So I think the alliance between Europe and the United States, it don't exist. And therefore we must discuss the European future out from this reality. And therefore I agree, not in all details, I think, with Willy, but I agree that we have to make a sovereign Europe which can defend itself and can work on the traditional European values. When even I, which have been a lot of critical about that, must say today is the best point of view we could take in the future.
But I'm positively surprised that France and Germany have come out with very strong support, because I was wondering if very cool heads behind closed doors would say, is Greenland really worth NATO? That could very well be a line of reasoning that you would see among defense planners. But when they come out with that kind of support, it appears that they are going to defend Greenland and they're going to defend our interests. And that, as far as I am concerned, is very positive, because the opposite could very well have been the case.
But how do you read this European support? Because as we understand it, the deployment of troops is in the form of 1 or 2 soldiers here and there. Germany has committed 13 soldiers, I believe, not many. How do you interpret that?
It's the sign that European countries say, we stand together. We do not allow US to take with force pieces of other countries like they want to do, or whole countries. It's not the part of the world order Europe wants. And Europe share the democratic values, the values of rule of order, the values of standing together and having strong international organizations like EU and NATO. And I think the good thing about what's happening now is that there might come a stronger Europe out of this, not only with the EU countries, but also with close cooperation with Norway. We see close military cooperation again with Britain. We see a lot of countries standing in queue to get members of the EU, opposite to the US, who have to take with force. We are attractive, and we should, as Europeans, be proud of that. We do not have to excuse for ourselves.
But obviously, a small deployment is a political gesture, and a large deployment is a real military gesture. So we have to see the size of the German and French deployments.
Of course, now we've been looking at the big picture. We've been talking about diplomacy, summits. I want to talk about everyday life in Greenland, because this is about those people that actually live there. Regular people who just want to carry on living regular, peaceful lives, making their living, pursue dreams. In other words, what do regular Greenlanders actually think about the US suddenly pushing in to their lives uninvited? Let's take a listen to what they have to say.
It's not just about Greenland's future. It is about the freedom and democracy of the world, and if Greenland falls, then the world order falls.
Of course, we worried. We don't have many military soldiers. I hope French will help us.
We just try to heal from the colonization, and we just want to be Greenlanders.
Now, Per, I wanted to get your thoughts on this, because these issues are probably close to your heart. Did these comments surprise you?
I think it's very positive to see that the Greenlanders, when they should choose between United States and Denmark, they said Denmark. And when they should choose between United States and EU, they said EU. And I think it's very interesting and very positive, because there have been a lot of conflicts between Greenland and Denmark in the years before this time, and colonialism. And I think Danish have done a lot of bad things to the Greenlanders. But even in that situation, the Greenlanders are, I think nearly all Greenlanders now support the idea that they want to cooperate with Denmark. And I think it's very good and very realistic, because so-called independence under the United States, I think it will be a very, very bad situation for a Greenlander. So I'm very happy, and I'm a little bit surprised, because I thought that there was a possibility that a lot of Greenlanders will say, okay, we have lots of problems with the Danish, we try something new. But the Greenlanders have been, I think, very, very good in clear stance here, and I think it's very good.
Okay, what do you gentlemen think?
We had a meeting yesterday with some of the Greenlandic people here in the parliament, the chair of the foreign committee in their parliament, and people are afraid. People are scared of what that man in the White House could do to their way of living. And why do they want to stay with Denmark and with the EU? Because they have the benefit from a welfare state. They have free education, they have free health, they have unemployment and social benefits. If they look to Alaska, where Trump governs, and say, how do the indigenous people, how do they live there? I mean, they would never dream of changing that life. And another thing is, they are taking very good care of their environment. They would not give their land to a man who says, drill, baby, drill. Nevertheless, what the consequences are, both with oil and mining. So, therefore, he has no chance unless he uses force.
I've been to Greenland many times, and I'm not surprised you get the answers you get, because there's a spirit of liberty in Greenland, and people want to defend their way of living, and people are free spirits. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do. So it would be surprising if the answers had sounded differently. That's, regardless of where you go, the ability to live a free and independent life is just really important to people in Greenland.
If Greenland was such a mineral pot of gold, because that is what Trump is really after, wouldn't have other countries or entrepreneurs essentially got into Greenland sooner?
Well, there has been numerous projects, and there's also litigation, because some of the projects were stopped. There was an Australian project, I think, that was stopped. But the problem is that extracting minerals in Greenland is extremely costly, because most of the country is north of the Arctic Circle, very little infrastructure. So if you want to extract the minerals, you have to build the infrastructure. And part of the year it's just really, really difficult to do anything, because it's freezing cold and it's dark and the sun doesn't rise if you're north of the Arctic Circle. So the circumstances are really, really special.
But what about the element of climate change? Because that's what we keep hearing about.
Yeah, it makes it easier to extract. It makes it easier to make infrastructure. But I was in Greenland in April last year, There have been, at that time, 47 concessions where companies could say, we want to drill or to mine. Or one of those had been taken by an American company, the rest by European, by Canadian, by Australian. So also here, why do they not use the chances they have if they are interested in Greenland? What's important with the climate change is that you can sail through the Northeast Passage from Europe to Asia and cut 1/3 of the sailing time. That means a lot economically for the ones who are trading. And therefore, that might be a third interest, the trading lines who control these.
But I think Donald Trump is underestimating the cost of extracting the minerals, because with zero infrastructure and a very harsh climate, it's far more costly than most people would imagine.
But wouldn't Greenland, I'm playing devil's advocate here, wouldn't Greenland actually benefit from the investment that the US could actually bring the Greenlanders?
No.
No.
US companies would benefit and take out the profit. That's the American model of business. And Greenland would be left with a country where the environment would pay the price, and Greenland would stand after this with a spoiled environment in parts of the country.
The Greenland government has been asking itself the same question you are asking, and the answer has been no. So it's not like they have never been asking this question. They have thought about it a lot, and so far they have decided that it's really not worth the environmental cost and the strain on the local communities to have mining in Greenland. So the ideas have been on the table, but they have been rejected.
But I wanted to ask you, Donald Trump has spoken a lot about keeping China and Russia away, and that is one of his reasons for potentially entering Greenland. What do you think about that?
It's valid. It's valid. There was an idea to have Chinese capital invested in the new airport in Nuuk, and it was rejected by the Danish Parliament. And there was a credit facility, a Danish credit facility, established instead. So it's built with Danish capital. But that was a response to an idea to involve Chinese capital.
And I think if you're looking about the situation now, there are no Chinese ships and Chinese threats in Greenland. Neither Russian. There could come a Russian. I think it's real discussion about security is a discussion about what will happen in the future. And that discussion we could have a lot. We could have a lot to talk about that. Investments in security, and also discussion now. Could we re-establish? Could we again discuss? Is it necessary to make total investments in a lot of weapons in the Arctic, or could we find another way in the future if Russia had an under government which we could talk with, and so on? But I would say today there is no threat from Russia or China in Greenland, and we could discuss what we should do about it in the future.
There is also this part of discussion that has emerged that by taking Greenland, the US taking over Greenland, that actually Russia and China have part of the Arctic Circle left to themselves. What do you think of that?
I think we had a time during the Cold War where the big powers were trying to divide the world into zones of interest. That's what, if we do not take care, we are returning into that. China is taking Asia. Russia is taking what they have now and the Caucasus and Ukraine. US is taking the whole Western Hemisphere. Greenland, the Monroe Doctrine saying that US shall decide what's going to happen in Latin and South America. And I do not want to return to that kind of order, because all the small countries, like our countries.
But the division of the continental shelf in the Arctic Ocean is contested. Russia and Denmark have an international lawsuit against one another about the continental shelf in the Arctic Ocean. So, but regardless of the outcome of this lawsuit, part of the continental shelf is Russian already, and part of the continental shelf is Danish, part is Canadian, part is American. And there's a few other countries. So it's contested, but it's not like Russia is not there already, because they have part of the continental shelf.
Okay, just before we go to our concluding remarks, let's just play a soundbite from President Donald Trump.
Greenlander, the premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the
Who
final
said
word?
that?
The premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is, don't know anything about him, but that's going to be a big problem for him.
So this obviously happened before the summit in the White House. I wanted to ask Sovndal as we wrap up, looking at these developments, as wild as they are, what are the chances that Greenland, Denmark and the US will be able to come to a diplomatic solution?
Denmark for sure is not going to give up Greenland. He can forget about that. And with the support he doesn't have in his country and the support we have among the European countries, it's us who have the cards, as Trump would say. He has no cards in this game. So I think he's going to lose that. And I hope that sense will win, and he'll acknowledge the price I'm going to pay is too high. If I insist on this, I'm going to lose support in the US. I'm going to get resistance from not only European countries, also other countries who want a world of order. So he has a bad case.
Okay, Per Clausen, the EU has expressed its support, and it definitely is scrambling its military support for the situation. What kind of concrete contributions do you think it can make to contribute a positive ending to the situation?
I think the European Union has to make a pressure on the United States too, and I think here we are talking about economical strength. In this time we discuss in the European Parliament tariff agreement with the United States. Von der Leyen and Trump made it last summer. No one doubts about it. It's best for the United States and not very good for Europe. And what I'm saying now, I should not suspend the discussion about that until the United States have said they will not treat Greenland anymore. I think that could be one thing we could do. We could do other things too. I think in the European Union we have to recognize that we have a lot of economical power. We don't have to every time do what the United States says. And I think it's very important for the outcome of this question that Denmark and Greenland have lots of solidarity and support from European countries and European Union.
Henrik Dahl, concluding remarks. NATO is dealing with this challenge, but also with many others. What do you think NATO is facing as its greatest challenge at the moment?
To keep the alliance together, because most NATO countries would like the US to stay in the Ukraine war, because if the US is not in the Ukraine war, Russia is going to win. So there's a real risk that if you project too much power on the Greenland theater, the United States could say, okay, we are pulling out of Ukraine. So there's a balance, and it's really, really difficult. But keeping NATO together would be the key thing.
Okay. Any final remarks as former Foreign Minister of Denmark?
I hope we are living through a temporary period which will end with an extraordinary situation. I was the Foreign Minister when Obama was the President, and it was easy to cooperate with US then. We basically shared the same visions, the same values. We do not today with US, and I hope they'll return to some kind of normal sense after a period.
Okay, thank you very much. And this brings us to the end of Control Room Brussels. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us today and for all their insights. Sovndal, former Foreign Minister for Denmark, Per Clausen from the Left Group in the European Parliament, and last but not least, Henrik Dahl, a Danish MEP from the group of the European People's Party. I was your host, Marie Kato. Thanks for watching Control Room Brussels, and stay with us on TVP World. Goodbye.